thanks for tuning into Animal Adventures with me today. My name is Kylynn, and this week we're going on a real live adventure. Because as many of you know, we have a wildlife care center here at our shelter, and behind me is a bird aviary. So some of the birds here are ready to be released back into the wild. So these finches behind me are two different types. There are lesser goldfinches and there are house finches. And they came into us as really little babies. And originally they were in incubators indoors in our nursery. And as they grew up and as it was time for them to start flying, they eventually came out into our aviaries where they're practicing being outdoors, developing good muscle tone and endurance where they can fly and escape from predators. And they're also learning how to eat all by themselves. And that's a really important stage because they are seed eaters, and they need to be able to both identify good foods for them to eat and thrive on, as well as break those foods open and be eating enough of them. So our wildlife care staff have to be able to judge when they are really active, when they have enough muscle tone and enough energy to be flying for long periods of time, and when they are feeding sufficiently. So not just feeding every once in a while and depending on people for their food, but really able to identify their own foods and eat their own foods at appropriate amounts. So now that that has happened in their lives, they are ready to be released back into the wild, and they're going to be released into the same place where they came from. Okay, so here I am in a friendly little neighborhood in San Carlos, and in this box there are 3 lesser goldfinches. This is really close to the location where they came from, so they're going to be released, and I want to do it pretty quickly because this is a stressful experience for them. But we have chosen the middle of the day, so there's still lots of sunlight for them to be able to orient themselves and be comfortable before nighttime comes. So they'll likely fly away really, really quickly, so watch carefully. So I'm also going to be releasing some squirrels back into the wild. So from little babies, they've gotten big enough and strong enough to be outdoors in an aviary where they're adjusting to warmer days and cooler nights, learning how to forage on their own and learning how to eat and feed themselves and protect themselves on their own. So they'll need to be returned to the wild within a 10-mile radius of where they came from. So let's go explore and see where exactly we'll be dropping them off. Hi you guys, I'm about to release some squirrels back into the neighborhood from which they came to us, but before I do, I want to talk about reasons they potentially came in. And I'm not sure the exact reasons that this group of squirrels came to us, but they likely came to us when they were babies. And many wild animals, such as birds and squirrels, come to us because they have been trimmed out of the tree that their nest was in. So one of the ways that you can avoid harming wildlife in your communities is to be sure that you don't trim your trees and your large shrubs during nesting season. And that's a really big season. The first birds to build nests do so in February, and they are our hummingbirds. So you want to stop trimming trees as early as February. And you need to give wildlife a long season all the way through October to completely be cleared out of their nests and be thriving as larger, more mature animals. So from February to October, you don't want to trim your trees. Instead, wait until those winter months to be sure that you are not going to accidentally trim a little nest out of a tree. If you do accidentally trim a nest out of a tree or find any wild animal that needs help, you definitely can call us and we will assist you with that, or you can even just bring that animal into us. But of course, be sure that you aren't bringing a fledgling bird into us. And I know I've done a video on that before, so go ahead and find that video to watch to be able to identify a fledgling versus a hatchling or a nestling. But there's lots to know in regards to wild animals in our communities. So I'm about to release these little guys, and when I do, I want you to know that unlike our birds that obviously just take off and fly out and take to the air, these guys might be a little more hesitant to leave, a little more cautious, and they might take their time. So they might not just dart out right away. I just want to forewarn you, we aren't sure how they're going to react, but I've chosen a big, beautiful tree, and I hope they run right up it. So let's take a peek at how this is going to go. Now that the finches and squirrels have been released back into the wild, they'll start a new journey into learning how to live and thrive as wild animals. We've done all that we can to help them, and now it's up to them to fight to survive. Nature can be a big, scary place for the young wildlife that we've cared for, but remember, they're not our pets. Wild animals don't need us or want us to care for them, and it's important that we respect the rules of nature by maintaining a healthy fear barrier between ourselves and these wild animals. I hope you've all enjoyed this latest animal adventure, and I'll see you all next time with a brand new episode.